Welcome back to Library YouTube channel. In today's class we'll be learning how to make this beautiful cape blouse. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this blouse, it's a very simple blouse and it is beginner friendly. You just need your fabric and the elastic that you are going to be using to gather it. So you can use this tiny elastic or you can use a 1 inch elastic depending on what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So I'm using oh, um this ankara print fabric for this tutorial, and the total length of this blouse, for me, I want it to be I want the total length to be around 18 to 20 inches. Okay, so now it's like a crop top, so 20 inches may be too long, but that is what I want for me, so you can consider using maybe 18 inches. So now, because this is an off shoulder, I'll be going off by 5 inches. Okay, so it means I'll deduct the 5 inches from my 20 inches, and that's going to leave me with 15 inches. And then also I'm going to be creating a casing for my elastic at the upper part, and then I'll hem it at the lower part also. So for my elastic casing, I can leave maybe 1 inch or 1.5 inches, and I'll add that to my 15 inches. So that's going to give me around 16.5 if I'm using 1.5 inches. And then for hemming it, because it's a selvage, I'm just going to be folding in once, so I can use maybe 1/2 inch to hem it, and that's going to give me 18 inches. So the total amount that I'm using now is a fabric of 18 inches. So to know the width of your fabric, you need to measure around your shoulder. So that's your round shoulder measurement from of round, because that's where you're placing this blouse. Okay, so this blouse is going to be placed around the shoulder, so you need to take the measurement of that point where you're going to be taking it. And like I said, let me just use the picture to explain again. So I'm going up by 5 inches. That's why I deducted that 5 inches. So this, from my upper part, you can see there is no fabric here, so I'll be going off by 5 inches, and then I deducted that from my total 20 inches, which gave me 15 inches. But to gather it, I'll be passing an elastic on this upper part for it to be fitted. So for me to pass the elastic, I'm adding 1.5 inches for my elastic casing. So I'm adding that to the 15 inches that I have left for my total bodies, and that is going to give me 16.5 inches. Excuse me. And then for hemming or weaving, okay, this is actually weave, but I'll be hemming this. I'll add 1/2 inch to that also, and by the time I add that 1/2 inch to the 16.5 inches that I have, is going to give me 17 inches. Sorry, not 18 inches. That's going to give me 17 inches. So now I have my fabric, and then to know the width, the length of the fabric I'm measuring out now is 17 inches in total. So now, to know the width of this fabric, you need to measure around your shoulder, and around the shoulder measurement I'm working with here is 42 inches. So now you can multiply that 42 by 2 or 3 or 4 inches, depending on how full you want this to be, or how many the amount of fabric you have to work with. So I'm multiplying 42 by 3, and that's going to give me around 126 inches. So I'll be measuring out a fabric of 17 inches by 126 inches. So now I'll just place my tape rule now from the M, which is here. I'll measure out 17 inches, and then I'm going to make that into a straight line, and I'll cut out. So like I said, this blouse is very simple. There are several ways you can actually make this. You can make it in a way that you have maybe an off shoulder bodice underneath it, or you can just make it like a cape, like what we are doing here, which is actually very simple and beginner friendly. You can just pair this with maybe an high waist trouser or a high waist skirt. Okay, so this has been cut out now, and by the time you open it up, you can see that it is quite long. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do now is to create the casing for my elastic. So I'm just going to fold it by 1/2 inch first, and then I'm going to fold it again. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine and just sew it straight like this. So that's the me creating a casing on the upper part for my elastic. And then on the hemline also, you can just fold it over like this and then hem it, or you can just use maybe a serger to serge it so that you can have something clean and fine. So now I'll go over to my sewing machine now and create the casing that I need on this upper part, and then I'll bring it back to show us what we have. So I've gone ahead to create my casing, and as you can see, I've created it. So this is what I have. So now the next thing is to bring in your elastic. So when you bring in your elastic, remember the round shoulder that we are placing this is actually 42 inches, but for it to be a bit fitted, you can deduct like 6 inches from the 42 inches or 4 inches, or depending on what you want. Okay, or you can just place the elastic around your shoulder and then see the fit that you want. So this elastic I'm using is actually very stretchy. You can see how, and I don't want this because remember it's going to be on the shoulder. I don't want it to just be falling off, so I'm just going to use my round shoulder to measure this now, and I think I'm going to go for around 26 inches because this is 26 inches here, as you can see. And then if I hold this now and then I decide to stretch it, this is even stretching up to around 50 inches for me, so this is fine for me. And then I'm just going to cut this out. So after cutting this out now, I'll pass it inside the casing that I have created. Okay, so just make sure that it's firm because you don't want it to be falling off your shoulder. So just make sure that whatever it is that you are using, by the time you're through, is very firm on your shoulder. So now I'm just passing my elastic through the elastic casing that I created, and then this top is almost ready. So by the time I pass it through it, I'm just going to close it on the center back. So this open part now is going to form my center back, and my blouse is ready. So it's as simple as that. Okay, so the elastic have been passed around it now. As you can see, this is what you will have. This is one end of the elastic and this is the other end. So now to completely seal this off, I'm just going to take these two together now, and then I'm going to sew it at the center back. I'll sew it close, then we'll see what this is looking like in the mannequin. So you can see it's very simple to make this. Okay, so now it has been sewn close at the center back, and this is what you have. So now you can see how much the elastic stretches. So now I'm just going to take this to the mannequin and so that we'll see what we have. And this part with the elastic is the part that goes all over your shoulder. It's a very beautiful cape, and it's just, if you have any plain outfit that you just want to spice up, this is a good idea, and this is what you can make to spice up your outfit. So now I'll take this to the mannequin so that we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what the cape blouse is looking like. You can style it anyhow you want. So this is styled as an up shoulder, and then you can also shape the hem anyhow you want. If you want it to be in a triangular form, or if you just want it straight like this, it can also be styled in an asymmetric form like this. So you have one shoulder as a shoulder, and then the other one is going to be up. So the length also can be adjusted as you want. I just folded this in so that we can see the crop effect this is going to give us. But for the owner of this wanted to actually for it to be long, that was why we used that measurement. So if you wanted this short, you can just deduct like 4 inches from the length measurements that we work with. It's very beautiful and it's versatile. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.